which includes ledger, accounts payable, accounts receivable, procurement, payroll, asset management, debt management, and budgeting. This approach may be too large to implement effectively in a timely fashion or to achieve results. At times, it seems better to automate some core part of a system, given the rapid change in technology. You see, what we're saying is, PFM automation and the systems they use are integrated systems. And this brings me to those of us who are familiar with IFMIS. IFMIS is an integration of several modules that work together, and they are all integrated into one. Talking of IFMIS, which I am familiar with, which is my working tool, it has all integrated from budget all the way to the payment process. Today we have to prepare our budgets in the system, upload them, prepare a procurement plan, link them to the budget. That allows us to spend. Then from the same module, you make all your payments. It's still integrated with central bank, that there is no now human interface. You all move from IFMIS to central bank and pay. That eliminates a lot of errors, a lot of mistakes, and that is where systems are going. Yeah, some of the automation systems I'll talk about are the payments and revenue systems. On the payment systems, I'll share about the integrated financial management system. As I've said, it's a system that has integrated modules that include the budgeting module. Today, we can make our budgets in the system, and once they are in the system, we are all ready to go. We have payment modules that are linked to the budget again. Now, if what is not in the budget, you cannot pay, because the modules communicate one with another. That's the beauty of integration, that it will always inquire, is there a budget to pay what you are committing or not? Once it allows you to pay, it's integrated with the bank. I've told you IFMIS is constantly upgrading. They've now integrated it with KRA. Before you pay any supplier, there has to be a query from KRA. Is this supplier a taxpayer? If it's not, the system does not continue with the processing. Until you clear with KRA, that is for Kenyans, that is our tax collection body, then the systems allows you. That is enhancing. Government is the biggest business person in the economy. So if you have to do with business with government, it's very important you pay tax. If you are not paying tax, then you avoid the biggest business person in the economy. It has procurement modules. Again, all our procurement from 2017, under the presidential directive, we've all gone online in our procurements. That is for ministries, departments, and agencies, other than parastatals that run parallel systems. So even county governments, we fall there. We have been forced to automate procurement. And all this, why automation in PFM is to avoid fraud, which is a big challenge, is a big cancer, is to keep accountability, is to hold all those in the payment process accountable. The beauty of digitization, from my position, everybody is answerable in the system. Because whatsoever you do, it can be traced back to you. You are accountable. So digitization has enhanced accountability in public finance. That's one aspect I appreciate a lot on IFMIS. And once you have clear systems that are working, then your work even for control and supervision becomes easy. We have avoided a lot of issues in procurement. Once when we had the manual system, there was a lot of fraud. You bring your tender document, a page is pulled out, you are knocked off from the system, a page is replaced, you have not serialized. But with the automation now, those problems are not there. You apply for business, you get it genuinely, if your document is right. And that avoids a lot of our interface. Today, as a chief officer for finance, I sit comfortably in my office. There are no complaints. You come and tell me about your tender. Was it in the system? Yes, let's go to the system. What have they told you is missing? Your document is there. We can upload it and walk through with you and tell you you are rightfully denied this job. If you got it rightly, again, we have a very clear mechanism. Yes, somebody did his mistake here. You can appeal and get your job rightfully. There is evidence there. It's integrated with banking. Just as I've sold you from IFMIS, there is no longer interface for those of us who are paying in central bank, even to commercial banks. You upload your systems electronically, your transactions to the central bank platform, and you are able to pay. So that integration of financial systems has greatly helped to resolve a lot of conflicts, to resolve a lot of problems, challenges, to cut down on issues of corruption. Today, when EACC is looking for any evidence in a case, all they have to go is to the director IFMIS in Nairobi. Open the ledger for Kwale. We want to see all the details for this payment. And they will have them. Who paid, which computer paid, who authorized, where did the money go, and all those. It becomes easier. Unlike in the old days that you have to come and look for files. Auditing has only become so easy. Our audit for the last financial year, 50% of that audit was done digitally. The Office of the Auditor General all got our ledger from the director of IFMIS. They studied all the ledgers. So by the time they were coming to the ground, it was just for 2 weeks. Give us this evidence, give us this evidence, give us this. The audit was led. Other than coming, when they were auditing so manually, they will come and sit at the county for 3 months, going through documents, looking for these documents. Today, it's easy. Or they look at your transactions in your ledger. Are they agreeing in your financial systems? With your financial statements? And raise their queries. By the time they are coming, they have all raised their audit queries for you to verify. That is another area that has greatly improved PFM management. From the payment side, from the revenue sides, from the counties, each county has been allowed to develop their own revenue management systems. For one reason, our revenues are not standard. The revenues that Kwale collects, our revenue sources in Kwale are not similar to those in Mombasa, are not similar to those in Isolo. So each county has been led to develop their own revenue management systems. All of us other counties have 2 types of systems. There are those that have only collection systems. And this is where the banking sector came into the counties at the very early age, when the counties were beginning. We want to collect for you. So that is ensuring that they are improving your cash flows, their cash flows, by just giving you a point of sale that is linked to the bank. A journey I've walked in Kwale is under collection modules, even where GGPay falls. And that is the biggest problem GGPay had, because it was a collection module. Private company had developed a revenue collection model, sold it to Nairobi County government. It was collecting on their behalf. So the problem with that system is you have no control of the database, because you only wait for the collector to come and tell you, this month we have collected for you so much. That has been a challenge. It was a challenge with Nairobi, with the Office of the Auditor General, because again, it is the collector who was deciding how much do we give you. We have collected 10 million this month. We are giving you 8 million. So Kwale County, from learning from that experience, we decided to develop our own Kwale ePay system that is a revenue management system. So we have counties that have revenue management system. For statistic purposes, I think it's only 18 counties that have revenue management systems. Recently, with the presidential directive of trying to centralize revenue collection systems, there has been an evaluation of the 18 systems. And out of the 18 systems, 2 systems were found to be good revenue management system. One was for Bungoma County government, and the other, of course, Kwale County government. Of the 2, again, I can stand tall and say Kwale County had the best revenue management system. That National Treasury are now evaluating to see which of the 2 systems can be adapted for counties. The Kwale revenue management systems has a following module. It has a collection module. It has capacities for reconciliation. It has capacities for geographical information systems. This is so key for us, that now our revenue enforcement is digitally led. We can look at our map in Kwale and know who has not paid rates, who has not paid single business permit, and target them. And it is so precise that we can come directly to your shop. We can come directly to your home. Because it has capabilities that those who have paid, it marks them to be green. Those who have not paid, it marks them to be red. So we are able to identify that. It has reporting modules. It has focusing capacities. This is where counties are moving to in their revenue management system. And we hope once National Treasury is able to look at those systems, maybe in the next financial year or after 2022, we'll have one system that all county governments are able to use, and that would enhance on reporting. Leveraging on safety. Leveraging means taking advantage of the automation in public finance. Technology has greatly improved services. I think all I've been talking on is looking at the benefits we've accrued from technology. There's data integrity. Today, any information that you get from IFMIS, you are sure it is the correct information. So there is a lot of data integrity. Other than the tradition that you are keeping files and they get lost, some at all, at least there is integrity in data, in automation. There is access to data. I've told you of EACC. I've told you of the Office of the Auditor General. Even for myself, at my own level, access of information is just at a fingertip. There is information safety. Timely reporting. Again, this is key because one of our duties is statutory reporting. under the PFM in Kenya. Every quarter, we're supposed to give our reports, and especially it's on the 5th, we're supposed to give our reports to the control of budget. On the 15th, we're supposed to give our reports to National Treasury. So automation has made it easier. The integration of various models again has made our use easy. You don't have to close this, open this. And as you post in one module, it uploads the other. Just like I said in the revenue module. When you collect revenue, it automatically updates the other ledgers. So reporting, it automatically reports. You can focus on it. Reconciliation has become easy because of automation, because of digitization. So those are several of the benefits that we need to build on. As technology moves, it is becoming cheaper. Again, having walked in this journey, the first counties that started their digitization process, they had budgets of up to 300 million. Today, in our automation processes, the budgets have come down. So again, the costs, both of the systems have come down, and even the cost of doing businesses. One problem we had in Kwale was printing books in our manual systems. You print a receipt book in Mombasa, tomorrow, a revenue collector has a similar receipt. You change it, change your printers, tomorrow they have the same receipts. But after automating, that problem was resolved. And one good thing, as you automate and work with the citizens, one experience I had, the moment we automated our revenue collections, the citizens picked it. And anybody who came with a manual receipt, the system would tell them, even the mama mboga, your receipt is itaki. Sorry for those who don't hear Swahili. I don't want that receipt. I want the system receipt because I am sure this money is going to the county. We even went further and integrated it with the M-Pesa. So now the citizens have supported it because now they are sure we are getting value for our money. So again, those printings had stationery, the costs have gone down. Emerging trends in automation. Most entities are moving towards the blockchain technology. Blockchain is a system of recording information in a way that makes it difficult or impossible to change, hack, or cheat the system. A blockchain is essentially a digital ledger of transactions that is duplicated and distributed across the entity network of computer systems on the blockchain. This is the emerging technology where systems are going, that you are able to interlink. Blockchain is basically a big database. Is a specific type of database. It's different from typical databases in a way it stores information. The way the information is stored, that makes it different. In blockchain, information is stored in forms of chain. When you do a transaction, it joins to one chain. That's why it's called the blockchain technology. I think this is the way to go as we enhance security. Because if it can guarantee of hacking, that is one thing that is a thorn in the flesh to those in public finance. Security of your systems. When a new data comes in, it is entered into a fresh block. Once block is filled with data, it is chained onto the previous block, which makes the data chained together in a chronological way. So that is an emerging trend in the new technology that we're moving in. Cloud computing is again a new technology that is coming in. These days on my phone, when the memory is full, all I need to do is to buy space on the cloud computer, and my data is saved there. And when I use it, there is no difference of the data on the phone and that on the cloud where it is saved. So again, this is technology that is helping in. Simply put, cloud computing is the delivery of computing services, including servers, storage, database, networking, softwares, analysis, and intelligence over the internet, the cloud, to offer faster innovation, flexible resources, and economies of scale. And that is at a small fee. I don't now have to struggle moving my data from the phone, I don't know, saving it now on the computer. It makes it easy. The fee is so minimal. An entity pays for cloud services it uses, helps it lower operational costs. The entity runs infrastructures more efficiently and on a scale as business needs changes. The above technologies are best sourced, as I've said. They are companies that have resources that can build bigger databases and only lease it to others than you investing in a database. The way forward is to outsource it and you have easy accessibility. I know somebody who challenged me in 2017 elections, our database was not available. But I think that's a story for another day. But in the business world, your database, you have easy access to your information as you need it. Thank you. I hope I have recouped my time. Okay. Yeah, it's okay.
Let's give Alex a better clap. I told you I'm associated with Alex. And when he came, he assured that although we had lost time, he was going to help us manage time. And even for those of us who don't come from the finance background, I think we would have an appreciation of what digitalization has done to what we do in finance. I know the experiences that we have among those of you who are in the audience. There are frustrations we also get. Alex, you know, like in Kenya here, for a long time, governors thought this thing called IFMIS was meant to frustrate them. They considered IFMIS as a tap, that somebody switches it on and off to frustrate them. Because many did not understand that, like in Kenya, we share revenue collected by the Kenya Revenue Authority between the national and county governments. They think when the financial year begins, there is money in a store. So when funds are voted, give us all our money. You know, there's that belief. A lot of people work in public service, but have never understood that we spend as we collect. So if economies go down, like economic activities went down because of COVID, there wouldn't be collection of money. But that's the experience we've got. So Alex having given a presentation to us, I know we all come from different backgrounds. There could be those specializations that people have here. But for the sake of those around us, you know, when you ask questions, when you make comments, we are actually enriching our experiences as public service managers and administrators from across Africa. Here is our opportunity. People running around with microphones, please raise up your hand so that we have time, a few minutes to the break for tea. The first one is here, second one. Second hand. You know, Alex, I'll use the Ndezwa style, where you identify the people who should talk, and once they have talked, because others can disrupt, you then say it's over. The first person is here. Maybe the others will are still reflecting, and they will ask when when we had this question.
Okay, thank you, Mwalimu. I have two interventions. The first one is even as the counties improve in adoption of technology, we still get to hear a lot of cases of leakage of revenue. I don't know whether you have empirical evidence to support the assertion that this implementation of ICT interventions has an impact in improving management of public revenue. Secondly, we hear about the fourth revolution, about algorithms, machine language, and the Internet of Things. I am not from an ICT background, so I hear these things. And I hear that is where the world will be going. This will be the next very big thing. Are we in the public sector, more so in public financial management, considering some of these developments? Are they relevant, or are they things that will pass us? Then we hear maybe there's another thing. Thank you.
Thank you, moderator. Thank you, Alex, for the wonderful presentation. For me, I'm normally fascinated by ICT because there is much that can be done beyond what can ever be presented. Looking at the public investment, a presentation we had yesterday by Bwana Angote, linking it with investment in digital or digitization or the use of information system. I think there should be no limit to public investment in terms of ensuring working and quality ICT systems. They really make work easy and ensure that thieves really are not able to steal. However, there's still opportunity to steal. And I'm happy about this guy. His name is Shalom, and yesterday I was talking with him. As much as he's working here, he's doing ICT and ICT security. And I had quite a number of questions to him about ICT security, and I will reflect the same questions to you. What can be done really to ensure security? Of course, there is much that has been done, but when institutions, say the counties, develop their own systems, how can we be assured? Of course, there is a lot of international organizations or corporations that are writing programs, because the problem would maybe emanate with who writes the program for you, for the counties. Who did the IFMIs? Are we assured of complete sealage? Those are the key questions to ensure that really it is foolproof, it's not falling down, it is not prone to hacking. Quite a lot of systems are hacked internationally, so that would be very critical. I think that's my contribution, much of a comment than a question. I will appreciate your reaction. Thank you.
Alex to react to those two questions. He had three, he has had two. Those are five. I know you may have consolidated them.
Thank you so much. Can I answer seated? All right. I think the first question was about leak in revenue collection. More specifically, this is to the counties. From the Kwale perspective, automation has greatly, it will never, there is no system that will ever eliminate revenue leakages. Because again, it has the human interface. And you know, even the Bible says the heart of a man is wicked. Only God knows what you are thinking. With that in mind, the first year we automated our revenue, it grew from 250 million to 315 million. Where was this 65 million going? We never increased our revenue base. We never increased our revenue rates. We never increased our sources. They were the same sources, the same rates, the same base. But we were able to get 65 million that was leaking outside there. So in terms of automating, reducing leakage, that it does. When Kiambu County had great support on automation during their first year, their revenue grew from 500 million to 1 billion. Where was the 500 million going? That was leakage. Automation was able to stop it. So again, the issues of automation needs again top-level management support. When there was change in government and ICT was not a priority, if there's even anybody from CRA here, I will tell you the revenue for Kiambu went down. So even with all these investments in technology, top management support is critical. Now, on issues of standardization and changing in technology, I think that is why the government found it fit to have a state department for ICT. And we have a full-fledged minister and a principal secretary. And that is part of their role, to advise the government on the changes in technology. And I think that's why we also have the ICT authority that still monitors on those things to ensure that the technology, as the world moves, we are also moving with the world. We are not left behind. I think I got your two questions. On investments, I think I said there is a great opportunity. If the developed world are doing less than 20% of their potential, Africa would say we are maybe less. Not we are less by far of that 20%. So there is great potential of investment. On issues of system securities, one thing I would say, all these hackers, for one thing, they only try to tell those who develop systems is, I'm smarter than you. All hackers. Yes, there are those who want to steal information. There are those who want to steal resources. But on the overall, they are trying to tell you, don't think you are the best. So as we develop technology, somebody outside there will be looking at how do I break. The whole issue of fraud is somebody thinking, how do I break into your system? This person is going to the same school I'm going to. With all his intention is, how do I break into a system? But again, even governments are also going at a higher level to ensure there is security in our systems. At the county level, our systems are secured by 3 layers of firewalls. One other level that we have seen to try and stop hacking, even at the IFMIS level, no one person has a super rights. That you can begin a transaction from start to end. That we've guarded against. So that the work of one person has to end to another person, becomes an input for another person, through passwords and setting them their levels. These are all things that are put in place to try and ensure of the integrity of the system. And from the county level government, those are issues. I can say since we automated, we've not had any hacking. But it's one area that my IT team keeps on looking at to ensure that our systems are secure. Central Bank, in its way to secure, now that all the 47 counties have access to Central Bank, passwords are renewed after every 3 months. You renew your passwords. After every 1 year, all your credentials are changed. That is to help ensure integrity in the system. It's a challenge. ICT security is a challenge. I told you the US the other day, with all its superpower, the national treasury was hacked. So it can tell you it's not a thing we would wipe away, it's a thing we have to keep on fighting to stay alive. One of his questions I didn't answer?
Excuse. Were you answered? Any other questions? There's one from Zambia. That is from Ghana.
Hello, morning again, and thanks you for that wonderful presentation. Just one technical question. Are you using HANA platform for IFMIS? HANA, it's an operation system platform. I don't know whether you might, if you don't know, that's okay. Then, generally, I think the COVID has changed the way the world behaves. Obviously, it's created opportunities, and ICT is one of them. You can imagine with COVID restrictions, which means the more online payments are done, the more revenue collections are done remotely. So I don't know, in terms of Kenya, what opportunities have you seen for learning? Obviously, if there's something you're doing, we're interested to know also so that we go that route. But it's one of the issues, like from Zambia, I know we've been working on increasing the number of services which are available online to the community. That way they've spent productive hours in their comfort of their work environment without having to travel and pay for services elsewhere. And also, interestingly, COVID has shown us that government can work with this workforce because we are rotating staff. So there are lessons to be learned. I want to clarify, because of COVID, we have to limit the number of people at one time in certain shared offices. So we have rotational schedules. But this has taught us that actually we can optimize the staff. The opportunities for us to optimize how we deliver services, but these are lessons. We hope to improve on them, but I'm just sharing with you and trying to find out whether there's something we can learn from yourselves.
Thank you very much, Mr. Onduko, for that good presentation. My name is Kita Mbogwa from NCIC. I have seen a number of counties where they are on e-citizen platform in their collection of revenue. Could you highlight the advantages and disadvantages of that? And what is the percentage of revenue that you collect? Because you have indicated very clearly that the system is able to project, and therefore would want to know the percentage of revenue you are able to collect. Now, as much as you are collecting revenue, it's also important to focus on creating a conducive environment for businesses, for both local and international investors. So what is the county doing? Possibly you can highlight to us on how you are making your business environment thrive. There is also an element of land rates. Have you incorporated in the system? And I would be keen to know how much the county spent to have the system in place. How much you pay yearly for maintenance and also the security. Now, security is a very, very critical factor in the management systems, and you have highlighted that. And when you say that if Miss changes passwords in, did you say 3 months or every year, we also have a change in password? I don't think, to me, it is very, very sufficient, because if somebody steals a password from an officer, chief officer, then he can be able to do quite a number of things. I've seen banks, yes, there is a password, but at the same time, another second check, where in each and every step, there is a password that is sent to the officer's handset. So even if somebody has an access to the password of a chief officer or an accounting officer, cannot be able to do much, because he needs to get clearances and also passwords in each and every step that he takes. Thank you very much.
Pastor, can we go with these two first of all? There was a comment from our friend from Zambia. Alex, he wishes to, he was finding out whether you are on the other platform of FMIS. And he also has talked about the fact that COVID has changed the way we do business. And although he didn't say it, but he was saying if we are able to work from home, he seemed to suggest, don't we have the justification to lay off people? Because you have people working online, and we can actually have one person managing the system. So he has issues he has raised around the system, and whatever you had, you'll make a comment. She has raised 3 issues. She wanted to know what platform, whether you're using that platform in Kwale. And the reason why Kenyans would be very concerned about revenue collection by counties is that while the constitution requires that counties and national government share monies collected, there is a risk that if the Kenya Revenue Authority does not collect money, that will be the end of counties, because many of them have abandoned all source of revenues. So it's increasingly becoming an issue of concern to us who have seen benefits of devolution in Kenya, that if counties are not encouraged to have a bit of autonomy in the area of revenue, they have a risk of collapse. So she has had those questions, including issues of security concerns about access, because you had talked about the regular change, the requirement by Treasury, that you change passwords. Maybe there is nobody here, even if they were here, if we had officers from the National Intelligence Service, one of the requirements now is that among the countries we visit, particularly if you visit China, and as a visitor of the state, you are given flash disks. You know, they are flash disks. We don't use their flash disks in government systems unless they have been deactivated by the National Intelligence Service. Just take note, because it's important for us. When you get any flash disk given to you when you're a member of a delegation, and you are connected to the internet and you put their flash disk into any machine here, they are able to read what we have back home. It's something we had as a republic here, and we give briefs to officers traveling out, that as members of delegations, you may get niceties, you feel very happy and smile and say, oh, these people are very generous. But it's part of the process of collecting intelligence, and your systems can be collapsed. Just like you said, people are ever thinking about what they need to do. You all are aware of cases of Kenyans. There were 2 Kenyans who collapsed American financial systems. They were hacking and stealing money in America. They are Kenyans, but they were living in America. They came here. So this thing is not a preserve of a community or a race. People have become pride all over. We can move from here and go and collapse American systems, yet we never grew up there. Alex.
Yeah, thank you, Angote. I think on the first question, COVID has created opportunities in Kenya. Today, you can do all the preliminary works for applying for your passport from your desk, and even pay, and even schedule an appointment with the immigration office for a day you'll go and submit your papers for the passport application. That has been developed, is an opportunity that has been developed during this COVID environment. On our revenue management system, again, we're also developing our customer service module, where again you can apply for your business permit, pay for it from your desk, print it from your computer, because we have interlinked our systems with our bankers. Even today, if you go and pay your land rate as you asked, from our bankers, the bank will query our database. And the moment you pay at the bank, it updates our database. So these are the linkages, the integrations that have assisted in that. The customer service module is again because we don't want people to crowd into our office. Yes, COVID has created an opportunity for us to renew our human resource capacities. It's a great challenge on human resource now. If we can operate with half the staff we have, is a thinking we are now thinking. Do we really need this other half? Because if one half can go and we run efficiently, is a challenge that is a question we're asking ourselves on our staff levels, especially the county levels, where those counties that have exceeded the required threshold of 35%, the public finance management regulations requires that our personnel emoluments should not exceed 35% of our budget. So those that have their budgets above 35%, this is a thinking. COVID has brought in a thinking. Do we need all this stuff, or there is a lot of idle capacity? It's a thinking that COVID has brought us to think about. eCitizen, not all counties are on eCitizen. But again, why they're on eCitizen is they are thriving to work on somebody else's shoulder, on eCitizen's shoulder. And that will tell you is only not all services are on eCitizens, it's particular services. It's either land rates or single business permit. Again, you can only come on that platform with the structured revenue. County governments, we have both structured and unstructured. Going to the markets, charging the mamambogas, that is an unstructured revenue that you cannot predict. So not all are going. But again, as they're going to on that level, is they have a challenge of a database themselves. You've asked of a percentage of revenue. Consider to our budget, our own sources finances our budget to 5%. This is again, when you look at Kwale, the biggest center we have is Diani. All others are villages. Even our own headquarters is still a small village that we are we're trying to develop. By building our county headquarters, that became the first building in Kwale with a lift. So you can see how far we were. Land rates, yes, that's a major source of revenue that is automated. That becomes the first piece. In counties, our major revenues are land rates and single business permit. So those becomes the first source that you want to secure through automation. On issues of systems and securities, accessing the central bank is not just a password. You equally have a token. That for you to access the central bank platform, you must use a token assigned to you. Central bank went further, and it's them who installs the system. Nobody else can install. Only central bank can come to your computer and install that system that you use with your token. Again, not one person has the paying authority. There are 3 people involved. There is the person that imports the data from IFMIS to the central bank platform. That is all he can do. There is an approver 1, and there is the final approver 2. So in all those payments, there are those different levels. And you cannot, Angote cannot use my token My token is preserved for me with my credentials alone. So even the approver 1 cannot use the tokens for the approver 2 or vice versa. So that helps in to put security that no one person can do, and even if you have my token, you must have. So if you have to, there must be a collusion from the person importing the transactions to the approver 1 to the approver 2. If there has to be any fraud, the 3 must come together. But stealing my password alone without the approver 1, there's no way you pay. Because it's once the approver 1 has approved, that is when the transactions come to approver 2. So there are those checks that have been put in to check on security. Thank you.
It's approaching 11. Ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you for your patience, particularly this session. Alex and I will be your guests in the next session. We want to allow ourselves to go for a cup of tea. It's now 10:48 East African Standard Time. So we resume at 11:18. We go for a cup of tea, and we converge